Namaskaram. I'm Shlloka, and we're introducing the channel Shlloka, which aspires to be a one-stop solution for all your health issues, physical, mental, and spiritual. Our team of volunteers have put together fabulous, effective, and easy to implement tools and techniques so that one day we can dream of a world which is disease-free and moves towards ease and higher possibilities of life. To help propel this wave of well-being and health to as many people, we need your support. Please help share our videos and content to as many WhatsApp groups and social media platforms as you can. And let's make well-being go viral.
Namaskaram, everyone. A very good day to all of you. Namaskaram, Learn with Cats. Namaskaram, Begum. Great to have you. Thank you for coming. Daisy Seva, welcome and namaskaram. Mosmi Das, it's a familiar name. I remember you. Namaskaram. Sandeep Anna, namaskaram. Shiva, namaskaram. So it's great to be with all of you. My name is Shlloka, those of you who don't know me. And it's not me essentially, but the team of volunteers who really founded the channel Yogic Life. How we started it, why we started it, what was the purpose. I'd love to share all that with you. What's coming up, not just on Yogic Life, but on some other platform as well. I'm so excited to share a lot of great news. So I'm waiting for more people to join in because it's been a while since I've been live. I think the last time I'd been live was just after the onset of the COVID. And I remember kick-starting this particular program called Ask the Masters, which we started during the COVID times. And the mission was to share well-being free of cost to everyone. So that was the first time I went live. And the second time is today after, I don't know how many years, clearly after 1.5 years. So namaskaram, Lavanya. Thank you for joining. Namaskaram, Manvi. El namaskaram, Devika namaskaram. I'm so glad you've had good takeaways, Devika. That's very kind and sweet of you. And I hope you've been continuing your practice. Happy Shivratri. I have received such fantastic testimonials from all of you. So many of you have attended the Mahashivratri on Yogic Life for the very first time and have been blown away. So it's always so endearing, so heartwarming to hear pieces and words talking about transformation and some benefit that you receive on occasions like the Mahashivratri. We're truly privileged to experience it live while it is being conducted by Sadhguru. We don't know how many years we're going to get this privilege, but as long as we do, we must make our best in terms of not only attending it, but also helping other people attend the program. Hello, Arudra, namaskaram. Jumi, namaskaram. Ishwa, namaskaram. Gajera, great. You really enjoy the Mahashivratri celebrations. Good to know. I don't know how many of you know who I am, but I'll give you a little introduction about myself. I am an Isha Hatha Yoga teacher, and I've been trained under the guidance of Sadhguru at the Isha Foundation. And now I do this full time. So I'm a full-time teacher. I transmit the tools of Isha Hatha Yoga as designed by Sadhguru. And I've been doing this since 2018. That was the time I graduated from the ashram. And the reason we started Yogic Life was because we understood that people really took to YouTube big time, especially when things became very indoors. In the COVID times, we were in lockdown and people had a lot of access on their phones and other mediums, other televised mediums. social media mediums, because even television was to quite an extent not very live in those days. Things had been suspended. So people really took to digital medium in a very, very massive way. And we realized the importance of YouTube in not just getting across Sadhguru's message, but also getting across these tools. Because time and again, Sadhguru has always talked about the importance of going beyond just entertainment. You know, it's very ironical that we have this channel called Yogic Life, which we've put our sweat and blood into making it happen. It's taken in a lot of toil, a lot of beating to finally get to where it is today. And thanks to all of you. But even though it is a channel which is transmitting Sadhguru's words, we just don't want it to be there. We want these words to firstly reach as many people as possible so that we can go beyond the words into the actual implementation, which happens through yoga. So Sadhguru may talk about the Samyama program. Sadhguru may talk about drinking water the correct way. Sadhguru may talk about opening the third eye. Sadhguru may talk about chakras. Sadhguru may talk about death. These are some of the items that we curate and we put it together in the form of the video and send it to you. But the larger goal is, are you going to limit his words purely to the intellectual level, or are you going to implement them and actually realize and experience them for yourself? Why can't we all work towards strengthening our Agna chakra, which is what essentially is the third eye? Why can't we all work towards creating well-being so that we also become the creators of our own destiny? Why should these tools only be limited to certain people like Sadhguru, like Buddha, like Jesus? Why can't we all be one of them? So true transformation happens not just on the level of the words. Yes, they're very important because videos are very, very inspiring. They're very motivating. And a large number of people have taken to Sadhguru purely because he was available through the medium of YouTube. But having said that, the next step is always to go beyond, to actually grasp these tools, attend the programs, and become a yogi yourself. So from a yoga aspirant, from a yoga follower, from someone who just likes yogic entertainment, spiritual gossip, to being the one who's actually experiencing the ecstasy, experiencing the exuberance, experiencing transformation on a day-to-day basis. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So that is where we want to get. And so yogic life. And yogic life is not just about throwing wisdom, but you see that we try incorporating all these advertisements which talk about attend the online program, attend the retreat, attend the Yogasanas program, attend the Bhuta Shuddhi program, because we want it to be about actual tool, actual experiential reality. And so the birth of yogic life. And thank you so much, all of you. Today we are Rishi Anna, how many subscribers are we at? You may also you might want to let me know that. I have forgotten the number, but we've reached a significant number today. And I want to seek your assistance in making this grow, because I remember 1.5 years ago when we started this journey, I started doing the online sessions just around the COVID time. And most participants that we had in the online yoga program were the first timers. They hadn't learned any Sadhguru design program. And so we started with the basic tools of Upayoga. And these participants who then attended the online yoga program, the Yoga Namaskar program, the Upayoga program, went on to doing the food program, went on inducting their children to the children's program, took on the lifestyle program, and eventually did our advanced retreats, which is where we teach all the advanced tools of Hatha Yoga. And it is now so beautiful to see them practice diligently for a year and a half, and actually see real-time results. That is the most fulfilling thing about what we do, that we see real-time results in our participants. So we want this circuit to be experienced by everyone. So it's your job, every time you see a video by us on your WhatsApp group, or you see a notification, a live notification, our volunteers do the best that they can to push out the video as soon as possible, because the first 30 minutes of a video are very, very important. And we usually add some little pickle in the form of some program that's coming up so that someone can get inspired and along with Sadhguru's words can also grasp those tools. So if you can like, share, subscribe, and share the video to as many people, it just gains more virality. So thank you so much for all the love. We really hope the channel grows. And most importantly, it's about the tools growing. In this life, when Sadhguru started his mission at the age of 25, that was when he got enlightened. I don't know how many of you know about his enlightening experience, but when he walked down the Chamundi Hill after he was realized, his only mission was that everyone in this world should experience what he experienced. And it is not some feat. If you're human, you can experience that. So we are the limbs of making his aspiration happen. So let's all work towards doing whatever we can. And one simple way, of course, is through simply forwarding these videos, because all the tools are nicely enmeshed in these videos. And the more you do, the more possibility and probability that someone might click on it, view it, and attend these tools and receive them for their own well-being. Namaskaram, everyone else who's joining in. Deba Dyuti, Namaskaram Shri, Namaskaram Azzy, Namaskaram Mamta. So the next aspect I'd like to talk about, in case there are any questions, you can also type in the questions. I can see that some of you are wanting to ask questions. Let me tell you what this thing is about. Firstly, I was going to thank all of you and tell you a little bit about Yogic Life, and then I was going to be doing the big announcement. So I'm going to be doing the big announcement next. Until then, if you have any questions, you can type them and I'll see how many questions we can take up. All right, so in the interim, as you keep typing out, I'm also going to be playing the video another time. I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to view it at the start of the program, but I'll be playing it out another time. This was the big announcement. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and I hope all of you can see it.
Namaskaram. I'm Shlloka, and we're introducing the channel Shlloka, which aspires to be a one stop solution for all your health issues physical, mental, and spiritual. Our team of volunteers have put together fabulous, effective, and easy to implement tools and techniques so that one day we can dream of a world which is disease free and moves towards ease and higher possibilities of life. To help propel this wave of well-being and health to as many people, we need your support. Please help share our videos and content to as many WhatsApp groups and social media platforms as you can. And let's make well-being go viral.
So this was the big announcement. Now, why we have started this channel, Yogic Life was looking to target a lot of Sadhguru followers because it's always easier to get people who are already fans of Sadhguru into the programs. Now is the real challenge where we begin exhausting the existing Sadhguru audience and we begin to look at bringing newer audience into the fold of Sadhguru and Isha Hatha Yoga. Isn't that the real challenge? Hence the new channel. We didn't have a name, so the volunteer said you might as well just keep your name because at least you have Isha Hatha Yoga teachers tag attached with you, and that way people will be slightly more inspired to subscribing to the channel. With this channel, we are planning to tap into Sadhguru audience, but a lot of non-Sadhguru audience. Number one, so that we can cover all themes of health. And when we're talking about health, we're talking about not just physical health, but mental health and spiritual health. So often at times when I'm doing these sessions, participants asked me, how should my thyroid get resolved? What about my diabetes? I have weight issues. I have constipation. I have anxiety. I have depression. And then the higher questions: what is life? What is the purpose of life? Life after death? There are lots of questions which are existential that I'm nowhere close to being in a position to answer. We leave that for Sadhguru. But whatever we can do in terms of pandering to all these themes of health that we've discussed, physical, mental, and spiritual, we want to make it happen through the new channel, which is SHLLOKA Shloka. And initially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing quick tips. So, one tip to help with acidity, one tip for constipation, one tip to help with your skin or your hair or your eyes, one thing for a stronger back. There could be several themes that our team is researching. And what's beautiful is that it doesn't necessarily just come from me. Our pool of volunteers are growing by Sadhguru's grace. And now we have Ayurvedic doctors, we have allopathy doctors, we have siddhas, we have naturopathy doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, fitness experts, healthcare professionals across the board who've put this content together. And we've made sure that they are well experienced. And this content has been packaged beautifully so it becomes palatable to people of all ages, with even those who have shorter attention span. Because what I've seen in recent past is that people's attention spans, unfortunately, are becoming shorter. If you give them a 15-minute video or a 20-minute video, it becomes very difficult for them to stay engrossed through and through. They like bite-sized information. And so we are trying to also predominantly work around that format and seeing how that is received. So again, what we're going to be doing is not just limited to wisdom, but we're also going to be throwing in our programs here and there. So with wisdom, you also learn tools and techniques, the yogic tools and techniques that actually are the real investment that you can do to your health and well-being. Taking buttermilk and getting rid of your acidity may be a slight fix, but truly it's about gaining access to your inner self, because once you gain that access, physically, mentally, energy system, all of them become aligned. So your body, mind, energy system, your thoughts, all of them become aligned. And once all of these are unidirectional, that really is health. So that's the idea behind the new channel. So while we're going to be giving you interesting nuggets of wisdom, it's also going to be about capturing a newer audience and bringing them into the folds of Isha Hatha Yoga. Now, we need your support for this. Why do we need your support? Because we are very, very few hands. Our capabilities are limited. And whatever we have become, initially was a one-man army, and now we're a couple of us, volunteers who are championing for this. And each of you today who are there online and who are watching the video, this particular video, I want you to subscribe and thereafter share whatever information that you get. The moment you see a notification, whether it's on Yogic Life, whether you see it on Shloka channel, or whether you see it on your WhatsApp groups, immediately share it among as many groups as you can. So many of you are on WhatsApp groups. We have communities, we have your residence groups, you have school groups, corporate groups. We are part of so many groups. Just utilizing WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram can take a long way into bringing this content visible to a larger audience, and thereby the tools of well-being, which is Isha Hatha Yoga. So all the details are already there in the description below. You just have to click. As far as both these channels are concerned, Yogic Life and the new channel Shloka, please try spreading as much of this information as you can, whether it comes from Sadhguru's mouth or whether the volunteers are putting information into me and then by virtue of that it comes across on Shloka channel. please try sharing this as much as you can. And remember, the first 15 minutes, the first 30 minutes of any video are very, very important. The more you share, the more virality or the more chances of it going viral are there. We'll look at the questions now. I'm doing 108 sets of Surya Namaskar once or twice a week. I'm 45 years old female. Is it too much to do so many sets? So, I'm not going to be very restrictive on questions related to yoga because that's not the domain of this particular live streaming. But I'm going to be giving you a very broad understanding of how you must be dealing with your practices. So it sort of, applies to everyone. Age has nothing to do with yoga practices. Sadhguru's guru, who taught him Hatha yoga, used to do 4008 Surya Namaskar until he was, I believe, 100 or so. There is this particular video which is also available on YouTube where Sadhguru actually talks about Maladi Hali Swami and how he used to keep up with 4008 Surya Namaskar every day. So his day used to start at about 3:30 a.m. in the morning and used to go all the way up until 8. And his sadhana used to just be on. He was 82 at that point when he talks about this incident. His sadhana used to just be on. And Sadhguru says, if you just watched him do his sadhana, tears would flow down your eyes. The way he used to approach it with so much commitment, with so much resolve, with so much determination. So firstly, age has nothing to do with your yoga practices, right? And secondly, it doesn't have anything to do with gender either. However, if you're starting out yoga, you have to try to systematically proceed in terms of intensity. If you just throw yourself into a certain number of sets, like for example, you mentioned 108. I don't know how you started it, but how we would tackle anything would be starting from a lower number and then proceeding to a higher number. I cannot particularly talk about a particular practice like the Surya Namaskar because we don't teach Surya Namaskar at Isha anymore. We teach something called a Surya Kriya, the Surya Shakti. So in Surya Shakti, we usually talk about a number which is about 108 plus 3, which is about 111. But how you start going about with it, you start with a little number and then you slowly increase the number. Gradually, you move to 108. And there is no way that people feel overwhelmed because they very methodically proceeded towards the greater number. So in yoga, we never ask you to be very overambitious because suddenly if you wake up one day and say, I'm going to do 108, you're going to end up injuring yourself. But if you've systematically done it, it doesn't matter whether you're 45, it doesn't matter whether you're 105. Yogis live for a slightly longer period of time because they've cultivated their bodies so well. And I've seen many yogis who are very, very aged and they have great strength. So yoga has nothing to do with age. Due to my responsibilities, not able to sleep on time, I'm sleeping around 12 p.m., not able to wake up in the morning. Please help. How can I improve quality of sleep? Mamta, you're sleeping firstly around 12 p.m. 12 p.m. is a very demonic hour. You should be in bed by 10. Usually as per Ayurveda, 10 to 12 is supposed to be the pitta time. Usually your food would get digested around this time. So even when we talk about the first major meal in the morning that you take, we usually say that you should be sticking between 10 to 2 p.m. because this is the time where your digestive fire is at its maximum. Digestion process is very effective. Now, during the night, if you're sleeping at 12, which means that you've already lost 2 hours of that time where your digestion is at its peak. And clearly, your digestion system is then bound to get impaired. So I would suggest you might want to sleep on time and then wake up on time. Now, many people have a problem, like you mentioned, waking up in the morning. Are you doing the right things? Are you doing the yoga? Are you following a proper diet? How is your lifestyle? If you've taken these 3 things into consideration, there's no way that this problem will plague you. So yoga, food, very important, and lifestyle. These 3 things are very, very important. And how do you do this? I don't know if you've been a part of our programs, but you can start with the online yoga programs. You can do the food program, and you can do the dinacharya, which is the lifestyle program. Implement all of those tools and then move towards doing advanced practices, which happen in our retreats. I have done inner engineering and 8-day residential Hatha yoga at Isha, and I've been practicing yoga regularly. Okay, wonderful, Elle. I'm so happy that you've been keeping up. That's the most difficult, isn't it? It's very easy to start with enthusiasm on day one and maybe on day 8 to some extent, but then your resolve begins to slightly weaken. And then one day you would just stop and say, okay, fine, I'll do it tomorrow and I'll do it day after, and that day never comes. So I'm very glad that you keep it up. The important aspect always has been consistency. In fact, the days when you don't feel like doing the practice is the day you must do the practice. That's how you break your likes and dislikes. You break your karma generating machine, because mind has a million ways to play tricks on you. But can you surpass that? Can you get onto the yoga mat despite your mind saying, oh, but today I don't feel like doing it. Today I'm too tired. Today I don't feel like getting out of my bed. Can you transcend all of that? So I'm glad that's happening for you. Please keep it up. How can teenagers join your yoga classes? So Daisy, teenagers, if they're 14 and above, then they're adults. So in yoga, 7 to 13 would be considered children, and we have a separate yoga module for them. We do that online and in person. We have children's retreats. And then we have the adults program, which is 14 and above. So all children above the age of 14 can do all our adults program. Could you please have an online class about fasting, explanation based on yoga? For example, Navratri fast, Ekadashi fast, we do. Have you attended our yogic food program? In the yogic food program, we extensively talk about Ekadashi fasting. Navratri fasting is something that I haven't heard Sadhguru particularly talk about, and that's not even covered in the information that he has relayed to us as teachers. But yes, of course, Ekadashi fasting has been mentioned in great detail. So you may want to look at that if you haven't already. Yes, PCOD. PCOD is also something that's being tackled. So you might want to stay alive to information and videos that are being put out into the new channel called Shlloka. And we will be taking this up at some point. My best wishes for the channel. We will work for realizing its objective. Thank you so much, Prabhat. That's very kind of you. 4008 Surya Namaskar is about 4 hours. That's like one cycle in 15 seconds. Yes. Vanakkam, can you throw some light on meditation postures for beginners? Because when I sit cross-legged, after about 15 minutes, numbness starts in my feet. Kapil, did you watch the video that we sent out on Yogic Live? I believe it was somewhere on a day before Mahashivratri, I believe. So the video, if you go back and watch that video, you can do that. It's called One Trick to Meditate Successfully. I wrote the thumbnail, I wrote the copy for it. And I called it One Trick to Meditate Successfully. And the reason I called it that is because meditation is not something that you do. Meditation is a quality. There are various factors that must come together to make the meditation happen. You can't force yourself to be meditative. So that's the first thing. I would say for beginners, my first advice always is to get a lot of physical activity. The more tired you are, the more explosive your meditations can be. Or let me just put it this way, the more easier it is for you to settle into meditations. So one way physical activity is, if you're not initiated into advanced Hatha yoga, you can easily do the Upa Yoga program. We do a lot of yoga namaskars online. That's a good way to get started. Additionally, we ask participants to do a lot of physical activity in the form of sports. You can just go for a run in the morning, play a sport in the evening, keep up with your household tasks at home or at your workplace, not just keep sitting like a couch potato. When your head finally hits the pillow, you must fall asleep. You must feel like you're dead. And you must not even realize that you've slept and woken up. So that level of physical activity is very, very important, which unfortunately is getting missed out by a lot of people. And so we lay a lot of emphasis on Hatha yoga. If you're doing Hatha yoga already, then physical activity in the form of, say, running or playing tennis or any other sporting activity is not needed, because Hatha yoga is a complete process in itself. If you're doing hatha yoga daily, every day, you're bound to be tired physically. And then when you finally sit to do meditation, it's very, very easy to settle into meditation. What I do with participants usually is even in the online format, I try to replicate the best way possible because I know it's worked for me. So by inference, I feel it also works for others. I try to tire them with yoga, and then I make them do the meditation. And I see that the level of stillness among participants is next level, and it keeps improving. And when I get to hear these testimonials and feedback, they tell me the same thing. So I would say physical activity, getting into hatha yoga, keeping yourself active through the day, not just doing 1 hour of running and then sitting throughout the day. And lastly, I would say inner engineering. Start with inner engineering if you haven't yet already. Shambhavi Mahamudra is a great way to get you to that space where you want to be. And as far as sitting cross-legged is concerned, you have to understand that it's all about flexibility. If you haven't sat cross-legged for a very long time, or if you're not used to sitting cross-legged for a very long time, then it's going to ache. But as you keep exercising your body, especially through asanas, through hatha yoga, sitting like this for hours will not be a problem. And you can achieve it. It's not a problem at all. So I would say you can start with, yoga, physical activity, the Shambhavi Mahamudra program, and look at yogasanas because this will really help at easing your muscles, and sitting cross-legged will not be a problem. Even through the day, you can keep trying to sit cross-legged for as long as you can. That would help. Unable to register for some program on the 27th. Which program is this? Sunil? Rishi Anna, please get in touch with this individual. Maybe you can send him the link. He's having some problem. Okay, completed your inner engineering. That's great. I need to complete the inner engineering. So what we're doing is every time we receive information from the foundation regarding the Shunya programs or the inner engineering programs, I usually have the volunteers send out the information on our WhatsApp groups. So if you're not already a part of the WhatsApp group, you can just click on the link in the description below of this YouTube channel. And right below this video, you will see a WhatsApp link or a Signal link or a Telegram link. Just click on it. And whenever there's the next completion program, information will be going out and you can register immediately. Usually the seats for these programs get filled out very, very quickly. So just be very fast in filling out the forms. PCOD's recurring heard I shouldn't overdo yoga like Surya Namaskar. Seri, is this coming from a doctor? And I'm very amazed that the doctor has to say this because in my knowledge, I'm not a medical professional, but as someone who has some understanding of the yogic sciences and how traditional sciences approach it, physical activity in terms of yoga is very, very important. I would suggest a program called Yogasanas for you, which will be quite beneficial for this condition. And I would say you need to look at your diet. You need to look at your diet. You need to get a lot of physical activity, and you may have to ensure that your bowels are clear. Having a clear bowel movement is very, very important. You notice that the day you have, period cramps or menstrual cramps are the days when your bowel movement is not very good. And yes, so I would say predominantly it's a lifestyle issue. It's not something that you have to take, you have to be bogged down by it. Change your lifestyle, get in some yoga, get in a good diet, get your physical activity going, and I don't see this as a problem. Try to visit a traditional Ayurvedic or a Siddha doctor to gain more insights into this. I joined the WhatsApp Yogic food group, but I couldn't find much information. The WhatsApp groups are groups where we send out, firstly, a lot of videos on Sadhguru, which have been curated by us. It's designed by our team. We keep sending out tips related to health. At least twice a week, we keep sending out either a post or some video. Either I'm in the video or there is some post that our doctor puts out. So there is a mix of these. And then there are updates to upcoming Sadhguru program, our programs. So the WhatsApp groups are really going to be an amalgamation of all of this. So I don't know what you're expecting, but it's really a place where you can be motivated and inspired by Sadhguru, know about the upcoming programs, and learn these simple, effective tools of health and well-being, diet, nutrition, from all these vantage points. How can I help grow your channel? I'm in UK. Not many people may know about it. L, how many groups are you a part of? Can you be a part of some WhatsApp groups? Can you ask your friends and family to be a part of these groups? every time a video comes out. So firstly, the thing is about getting onto a lot of WhatsApp groups, Telegram signal groups, getting onto social media, joining Facebook groups, fitness groups, or any other allied groups. And anytime a video comes out, be sure to put it out as soon as possible. I understand that the time difference between UK and India is not very significant. So anytime a video goes live, you should be able to get the notification within a reasonable time, a daytime. So you should be in a position to push that out as soon as possible. On the first 15 minutes, the first 30 minutes are very, very important for the visibility of a video. So if you can push that out on your groups, social media groups, WhatsApp groups, that would be the best. And please do comment, share, and like. Why do we ask people to comment, share, and like? It's not a marketing gimmick, because every time you like and you comment, I've learned this very recently, once we started the channel, the importance of actually sharing and liking and commenting is that the YouTube algorithms begins to feel that this video is being well received. And the moment YouTube video realizes that this video is being well received, it's going to only increase the visibility on YouTube. So watching the complete video, not dropping off anywhere, writing a comment, liking it, and then sharing it with as many people. This would be the best way to go about. But thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Okay, thank you, Yana. Thank you, Kapil. I'm 57 years and have back pain due to fracture and knee pain due to osteoporosis. Am I eligible to Hatha Yoga? I don't think it is a problem. If you are a little apprehensive, Karvi, I would suggest just check up with your doctor once. I have a lady in my session who's 74 years old and 74 years of age, and she does 33 yoga namaskars and perhaps now even more every single day. So I don't think that should be a problem. How to overcome by dizziness? Until I eat anything, I become dizzy since years. Any permanent solution? So Lavanya, food is going to cause inertia and dizziness into you, right? The only way to counter this, number one, is to follow a yogic diet plan. We talk about this extensively in our yogic food program. So in case you haven't attended it, you might want to. While we're doing this, we're also doing a great deal of yoga, because what yoga does is it's working on the energy level. So you have the food body, which is the Annamaya Kosha. And how to keep this well is by putting good food, good clean food into your system with a certain level of gap. The time and the gap is mentioned in our programs in great detail. So you follow that. That's the first thing. And the second thing would be to build up your system internally. So inertia and lethargy can be at the least. And when that happens, you're eating at the right time, your system is well energized, naturally laziness is going to come down. Sleepiness, laziness will come down. And of course, dizziness will come down. And if you feel that there might be any medical condition, then I would say you might want to visit a doctor. You can go to an allopathic doctor and also try going to a traditional Ayurveda or a Siddha doctor and let them check your nadi, let them check your energy channels and see what might be the blockage. That may also help. If you're in India, I usually suggest a particular doctor in our programs. I don't want to publicly take his name, but I usually suggest one doctor who lives in Coimbatore, very close to the Isha Foundation. And he's really good. So a lot of us have experienced him. If you can personally get in touch with the volunteers, and they'll have you send his number. Do you have online class for Surya Namaskar or Surya Shakti? No. We don't do Surya Namaskar. We do Surya Shakti. Surya Shakti happens only through in-person modules. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to be browsing over questions. I wouldn't be in a position to take all of them since we're already a little over time. Can I recommend Angamardana and Yogasanas to my friend, or can I simply suggest whichever they can attend as per their calendar? How do you pick a program? How do you pick and select a program depending on what you want? Usually when people are looking for spiritual evolution, we ask them to attend all the meditations. The inner engineering program should be a must for everyone. The Shunya programs, and then of course the Samyama program. And we also get them initiated into Yogasanas and Surya Kriya. These are slightly more subtler yogic practices. And then there are others who like something intensive, like I want a good cardio. So we then drive them towards Surya Shakti, and Angamardana. So it really depends upon what people want. But if people are looking for spiritual evolution, fitness, cardio, all at the same time, or they're very intense yoga seekers, they want to know everything, then we just ask them to do the entire gamut of Hatha Yoga. Okay. So Sandeep Anna writes, you should know I have always been someone with an athletic build, have been slim throughout my life. Okay. Is that a question? Okay. Please give my namaskaram to Sadhguru. I have completed my Shambhavi Mahamudra. Suggest me to increase my energy levels. Darshana, I would say Hatha Yoga. You might want to get initiated into Hatha Yoga practice form. And the next form of meditation that you can take up should be the Shunya program, the Shunya or the Shakti Chalana Kriya. Be a part of our WhatsApp groups. We keep sending out details about when the next Shunya intensive program or the next Hatha Yoga program is happening. Attend these, and then the next path we will tell you when you cross that bridge. So thank you so much, everyone. It's been great. And keep supporting us. We have a very, very few hands in terms of volunteers who are there to support us. And all of you people who are watching us live and now who will be now watching the recorded video, we need you to help us spread this wave of well-being. We don't have much time in life. It doesn't take a lot of time. It takes a few seconds to just share videos on the group. So even if this number that is there right now for the live can share the videos on 2 groups or 3 groups or 4 groups, imagine the kind of virality that we get subsequently. So thank you so much, everyone. And details to the Shlloka channel will be down below. I have seen there are a lot of questions regarding thyroid conditions, PCOD, diabetes. We'll be trying to get all of that answered in the other channel. So that will be a medical input. Again, not coming from me necessarily. It will be coming from doctors. I will be the mouthpiece, but it'll be coming from the doctors. So it's going to be professional content, and hopefully you will be benefited by that content, and you'll also be in a position to benefit others. Thank you so much for your time. Namaskaram.